I'm going to be timing my removal today just for fun, but before I get started, I wanted to show you my old sets. These are 2 weeks old and I did them using the dual form method with hard gel. They held up really well, but you will see later in the video that there's quite a bit of lifting on the thumb. Here you can see the thickness of the nails. They are pretty thin. I think I could get them a little bit thinner. And then you can also see the grow out, which is really seamless. I'm using a new carbide drill bit for removal. The shape of this one is made for multitasking. It can be used for removal as well as step filing and underside filing when you're doing dual forms. So now I'm getting started on the removal. I am going in first to file down the length of the nails because I am going to be going a little bit shorter. Obviously this step isn't necessary. I could have easily just gone in and cut the length of these nails down, but I really like to practice using my nail drill as much as possible. So even though it's not required, it does help me to get more confident and more in control of using my drill. You can see here how thick these nails actually are at the apex, even though the free edge was pretty thin. And that's what tends to give dual form nails their strength, making them really durable and very hard to break. But at the same time, since the apex is hidden, they don't look or feel bulky. By the way, if you don't mind sharing, please leave a comment on where you're watching this from. I'm very curious. I am currently in Canada and it's freezing here. We have a lot of snow and I've got my heated blanket going. And now I'm removing the bulk of what's left on top of my nails. Starting off by going vertically down the nail away from the cuticle to remove the top coat and the color. And then I like to go in horizontally across the nail and remove most of the bulk of the gel. I'm being really careful not to get too close to the skin or cuticle area, and I am going to be going in with a hand file next, so I'm not worried about getting down to my natural nails or anything like that. I just want to make sure that I'm being gentle here and not causing myself any damage or injury. Honestly, the more that I'm using this new carbide bit, I kind of feel like the ceramic ones that I'm used to are just a lot more powerful for some reason. I don't know if any of you have experience with ceramic versus carbide, but I would love to know what you think. You can really see here how I'm turning my hand at all different angles to just help me maneuver and get that drill bit where it needs to go. As I started to drill down on my thumb, I could really see just how bad the lifting was. I didn't think it was that bad, but almost half the nail is lifted, and I am going to be taking care of that in a second. Now I'm just cleaning off the nails, dusting them off of all of that dust before I get into the next step. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to be hand filing off the rest with a 100-180 grit hand file. I'm using the 100 grit side here. Since it's barely touching my natural nail, I'm really not worried about doing any damage. This is just strictly touching the product. I'm also not fully removing the old product from my nails. There is going to be a thin layer left on them, which is just going to help the gel that I put over top adhere even better to the nail. Since the old product is hard gel, that means that it can't be soaked off using acetone, which is why I am removing it with a file here. I actually prefer this method though. I really don't like to soak my fingers in acetone. I know a lot of people do it, but it is a really harsh chemical and I just think it's quite damaging. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the lifted product on this thumb. There's absolutely no way that I can put new gel over that. I can see the lifted area because it is white and opaque, and so I'm just taking my file here and going around the perimeter of where that lifting begins. So basically I'm removing the gel that is directly adjacent to the lifted area. And once that gel is removed, you'll see how easy it is to just pop off the lifted area. I hope this video has been helpful for you so far. If you are enjoying, remember to like and leave a comment. Now to make sure that the product that's left on my nails is just as smoothed down and even as possible, I'm going in with a sanding band here and I'm just very gently smoothing down all of that remaining product. The speed of the drill here is super low. It's about 6,000 RPMs. I don't tend to ever go over that when I'm using a sanding band just because it can cause a lot of friction and burning if you're not careful. So I just go really slow and low speed here. And again, because there is product still left on my nails at this point, I'm not really worried about any damage being caused. When you're using a sanding band or any other drill bit, the key is to really just keep the drill moving at all times. Don't let it rest or sit on one area of your nail at any given time because that can cause a lot of friction, can cause heat to build up and burn you, and it can also cause overfiling. Using an e-file at first can feel really daunting, and it is honestly just a skill that comes with a lot of patience and practice. I have definitely injured myself before using one, but I just kept on practicing and gaining confidence, and that's why today I feel so much more comfortable using it. By the way, if it's not already obvious, I am not a professional nail technician. I learned to do my nails at home over the years, experimenting and trying things on myself. So if you do see me doing something really wrong, please let me know. I'm super open to feedback and I would appreciate any tips that you're willing to share. I tried to keep the timer as accurate as possible. I only paused it when I was changing my camera angles, otherwise I left it running the whole time. Done with removal, almost 18 minutes is not bad. In my opinion, I think I would have been even faster if I wasn't filming. Making sure my nails are very well cleansed here before I get into nail prep for my new set. Using my favorite metal cuticle pusher, I am gently pushing back the skin that is stuck to my nail plates. I'll be using swiping motions versus scraping so that I don't do any inadvertent damage. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I just finished with removal, which is kind of chaotic, but I find this part really relaxing for some reason. As you can see here, I am firmly yet gently pushing back any of that dead skin that's stuck to the nail plate. And then to make sure I'm not missing any areas, I'm just swiping through to make sure that the pusher smoothly passes through. I'm not going to be removing the dry skin just yet, but stay tuned for my next video if you are curious to see how I do my manicure. I don't think my cuticles were always this easy to push back, but I do think that the more that you work on them, the more it's easier to maintain them going forward. And this is what my nails are looking like after the removal process is completed. As you can see, the surface is really roughed up, which is exactly what I want going into prep. I already cleansed my nails with alcohol, but I am going in and further dehydrating them with this product to ensure that there are no oils or dust remaining on the nail plate. And then I am going in with a primer after that. This is the first time I'd used this brand of primer, and I found it was really watery and not sticky. And I'm really used to like a sticky primer, so I did go in and apply 2 coats of this just to be on the safe side. Now for base coat, as you can see, I'm using very, very little product and I'm going to apply a super thin layer to the nails, but I am making sure that I fully saturate every single bristle of my flat brush. And then I'm taking my time to scrub that base coat into the grooves and the roughness of my nails. And I find that this just really helps to get the product on top to stick really well. After I'm done with prep, this is what the surface of my nails look like. They are shiny, but they're not smooth, and that's really what I'm aiming for. And here's the final product after application. I hope you'll check out my next video to see how I got this look, and thank you so much for watching.